we were introduced. I am Bob Wright.
And I'm Bob Mitzel.
And we are the Bob and Bob Show. We do an internet-based radio program 5 days a week that delves into all the various issues that we face. The premise of our show is the very best of political dialogue actually takes place in your local coffee shop with a couple old soreheads sitting around trying to solve the world's problem.
Hey, for looking at us, that pretty much covers it, doesn't it?
We are the soreheads. You know, I am never happier than when I am in a crowd of patriots, except when I'm in a crowd of armed patriots. And then I'm even happier then. You know, we talked about here just a little while ago about how just a couple years ago there were just a few of us, or it seemed there was just a few of us. I myself, I've been involved in this kind of stuff for almost 30 years now. We was one of the original Minutemen. We went down and we stayed on a border for almost 5 years, and it was a lonely, lonely time. And we thought things would never change. And I can remember pontificating at great length around many a campfire how we would never get middle America into the streets. Never get them out there telling this government what to do. And I want to thank each and every one of you for proving me so drastically wrong. Because this little breeze you feel today, that's the winds of freedom that are sweeping your land. And that breath was started, it came out of you, the American Tea Parties. That's what you've done. How many of you truly understand? And I wonder, Bob, because these problems are so huge, and they are, what we face in this country to actually try to restore the constitutional republic is a massive job that some of us may not live to see it all restored. And sometimes I don't think all of you appreciate what you have done to date. But because of the Tea Parties, and make no mistake about it, it was the Tea Parties who caused probably the single greatest political shift in one election since the Civil War. It certainly wasn't any kind of enlightened insight from either party. This is going to be the biggest role you're going to have to play, is you're going to have to be that driving force, not just to try to keep one party in line, but to try to remind the other party of where their roots lie, where their constituency lies, and where the moral high ground lies.
You folks realize this movement started by some ladies that were upset about the taxes. That's where they come up with the tax enough already. This nationwide movement started with some little old ladies standing out on the corner waving signs and yelling. It started out with shoot, man, my mind just went blank. That's all right, it's blank half time anyways, what people tell me. But in the meetings, the town hall meetings the government people had, this little old lady standing there telling them to shut up, because it's time the people were heard. And people like you out here today are the ones being heard.
That's it. You know, throughout our history, brave men have always stepped forward in a time of need. Many of those who stepped forward in the past is out in this audience today. How many of you are veterans out there who have served your country, wartime or not? But we're there.
Come on, guys, stand up. Come up front here, please. All the veterans, current or past, come on up. Come on, folks, we can do it louder than that. These men served for the country. Number one, folks, for everybody here, I'd like to thank you very much for your service and your dedication to this country.
And before you walk away, veterans, please give a round of applause to the people who are going to work the rest of their lives to save that legacy you fought for. That's what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen. America is not just a matter of geography. It's not a matter of where you're born or where you live. America is one of the most beautiful ideas that ever came out of the mind of man. And for nearly 200 years, it remained the single brightest hope the world ever had. And sadly, in the post-war years, we allowed that to go away. We allowed, our fathers allowed themselves, after defeating the worst war in history and defeating the worst depression in history, they got busy making babies and making money. And unfortunately, while they were busy doing those things, while they were busy building the American dream, the professional political class was stealing the American dream. We now have got to step forward, as so many of you have, to put a stop to that, to turn this around and to restore this republic back to the constitutional roots that it was founded on. Those things that guided us all those years and made America the great place it was. And you know what? America has never really been guided by great men. It's just been guided by the absolute unfailing instinct of the American patriot, who recognizes that what he does is not for himself, it's not for a party, it's not for his 401k. How many of you are here for your 401k? How many of you are here to make sure that the birthright of freedom that was passed on to you by these gentlemen and the ones who came before them will be passed on to your grandchildren and their grandchildren?
That's better. Come on, folks.
This is what is at stake. That's why we cannot tire. We cannot in any shape, form, or fashion ease up for a minute. All of these guys who study military tactics, the mixed martial arts fighters out there, all of you guys who have ever mixed it up a little bit, you know there's a point in every fight where your enemy begins to give ground. And when that enemy begins to give ground, you cannot stop, you cannot weaken. You must continue to just lay your head on his chest and pound his ribs. Don't let him breathe. And that's what we have to do with the political class in America today. They are staggering. They don't know what to do with you. They can't understand the results of the last election. You cannot quit. You must stand in there and slug it out with these demons until they crawl back into the black hole from whence they came.
Well, folks, we got all these veterans standing up here in front of us, and they've all served us very well and very honorably, and I'd like to have them do one more service for us while they're here. If you gentlemen would turn around and face the flag, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, we would sure appreciate it.
To the flag of the United States of America and to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Come on, folks, let's hear it for the veterans. Ah, come on, we can do better than that. Let's hear it. There we go. That's getting a little better now.
Okay, are you fired up? Do you want to hear liberty preached in the square in Santa Fe?
Ah, come on now.
Well, we have just the preachers to preach that sermon of liberty.